Hello everyone, welcome back to another Hall of Fame Bets YouTube live stream. We have a special one for you guys tonight. Lots of great NBA games to look over at. And as I said in the chat, make sure to drop your player props and parlays for tonight. We're going to see who came correct with their research, and we're going to help people kind of look through some of their stuff to know if they have a good play or something a little questionable. So, first of all, I want to welcome everyone in the chat. Presh, Alejandro, DeMarcus, Dirty Jersey, Fishy, Jordan. Welcome everyone to the Hall of Fame Bets live stream. And we're going to get started here with some fire player props for the games tonight. Obviously, these games are starting pretty soon. So we're going to hop on the trends page. And this is all, guys, all our player prop research for tonight is through Hall of Fame Bets. If you want to check it out, if you think it's cool, link in the description to get 25% off your first month. So we're going to apply our filters here, that hit rate filter, and then also the odds filter, and see what we can find, if there's anything that we really like for tonight. And after we do one or two of these, we're going to look through some of your guys' stuff too. So as always, make sure to drop it down below in the live chat. Nathaniel, welcome as well. So we're going to take a look here. We're going to do the hit rate, and we're going to do the odds, and I'm going to bump the odds up. Normally I do minus 200, but recently I've been trying to bump it up even higher to minus 150 so we can find props that we're really getting some good value at. And also something to note is I do a lot of my research early in the morning because that's when the lines will often be out, and sometimes you can find props with the best value. Etche, what is up, my guy? Thank you for joining us, Etche, one of the Discord members, of course. And we have a Discord, guys, that's available for our subscribers. So another benefit of subscribing as well, too. And we do a special live stream on there this week as well. So we're just taking a look through some props here, guys, scrolling on the trends page. And looking for props that have a good hit rate over the course of the season, and then have also performed well in recent games and head-to-head games, too. So it's kind of like, you know, we're trying to find that perfect match, and then of course we have to take into account injuries and some of these other ones as well. So let's see if we can find anything here just scrolling. Vucevic, 12.5 rebounds interested me earlier. My concern though is Portland. Obviously it looks like, you know, they're decent rebounding team, but it seems like, I don't know. Let's take a look here at this one a little bit more. Vucevic under 12.5 rebounds. This is hit in, it looked like 70+% of games this season. And was being offered on Caesars for minus 131. So let's take a look here and see what this Vucevic one is saying. So we're going to go rebounds, and we're going to go under 12.5. And I also have a couple ones that I've already kind of researched that I want to share with you guys too for in a second here. And guys, I appreciate everyone dropping props down below in the live chat. We will go through a good amount of those, so make sure to drop them. And again, we want to see who came correct with the research. So Vucevic is hitting 76% of games this season, minus 315 odds. Let's see against Portland in the head-to-head. Went way under against Portland and played 34 minutes last time. So that looks pretty good. It does look like Portland give up a decent amount of rebounds to centers, so that's something to keep in mind. But let's take a look at the rebounding rank filter. I want to also see at home, does Vucevic really improve? No. Actually, his rebounding goes down at home. Okay, that looks pretty good. Last 20, be curious to see 70% of the last 20. In the last 10, 7 of the last 10. So that looks really, really quite nice as well. Let's move over to rebounding rank now. We're going to see Portland, a below average rebounding team, hitting 78% of games against below average rebounding teams. So even while Portland aren't as strong rebounding, Vucevic still struggling to reach the super high line. Anything else we should note? Let's take a look at the roster page. And also I'd be curious to see, maybe do Portland have any major injuries that we should be aware of, right? Like maybe Portland are missing a center or someone that's really good rebounding. So I'm going to take a look at the we're going to take a look here and see if, on the Portland roster page, if there's any major injuries. So Robert Williams is out, but he's been out for the season for a while. So it looks like the other centers, DeAndre Ayton most notably, is playing. So yeah, guys, I mean, this one is looking really quite good to me. And actually one that I you know, when I was just scrolling earlier in the day, I had kind of moved past, but now diving into the numbers, when we see Portland, when we see against Portland, we see home games, we see rebounding rank, It looks really good and checks all the boxes. So our first one for tonight, guys, and again, this is where you have to weigh your own risk if you want to tail or not, weigh those pros and cons. But in terms of the research, this looks really good, and it's Vucevic under 12.5 rebounds. So I think we're off to a great start there. I'm going to jump over to one of your guys' props now, and then we're going to get back to researching. And again, like I said, all this research is done through Hall of Fame Bets. If you want to check it out, we have a link to the website and the app down below in the description, and 25% off your first month. And people speak for it. Etche even said, sub to Hall of Fame Bets, fellas, doesn't play around. He knows. So I saw this one from Jordan. Curry over 4.5 assists. I want to take a look at this one. I'm a big Warriors fan. Big fan of Stephen Curry. So why not show my boy Steph some love? And let's take a look at this one here. So Curry over 4.5. One thing we have to keep in mind, I know he's played since then. He played against the Lakers, but he did just come back from an ankle injury. So we have to keep in mind like any sort of minutes restriction, or take a look and see how many minutes did he play when he faced the Lakers last game. He played 34 minutes, so we're looking pretty good there. Okay. We're going to take a look and see. Over the course of the season, he's hitting 55% of games, minus 120. It's being offered at minus 102. So while we're not killing it with value on this one, I would say it's a pretty solid start, is what I would say. We go to last 10. Let's take a look. Again, he had injuries, so maybe we'll bump it over to last 20. Hitting 59% of the last 20, minus 145. That's decent. Now let's take a look. One thing to note here, guys, is against the... he's playing the Knicks, and they don't allow that many assists to point guards, and just overall in general. So I wouldn't say that just totally rules this off the table. Like, again, that's where I'm going to apply that defensive rank, but just something to keep in mind. Maybe weighs a little bit more towards a con. Another con here is Curry he only recorded one assist last time they faced the Knicks as well. So that's kind of a bit of, again, it's just one game, but head-to-head data is pretty big. So, last checking point would be that defensive rank, and we're going to bump the Knicks all the way up to that top quartile and take a look here. And we see that against top quartile defenses, Curry's only hitting 43% of games, plus 135. So for me personally, and I'm going to see who researched this one. Sorry, I'm just scrolling on my phone. Jordan, I personally, again, this is to not say this play won't hit or can't hit. Like, it's very possible it will, especially with odds in this range. But what I would say in terms of when we're looking for value and those positive hit rate signs, this prop isn't showing it as much for me, if I'm being honest, just because when we factor in Curry coming off an ankle injury, that's just one factor, but really the more data-driven factors, the head-to-head data is not great. The Knicks are a pretty good defensive team, and he hasn't performed as well against other defensive teams. So that would be kind of those two sticking points for me. That would, in terms of if I was weighing pros and cons, I would more likely fade this. One maybe good point for Jordan, though, for this argument for it, is he's hitting 58% of home games, so that's minus 140. Again, slightly better value than the offered odds of minus 102, so that looks pretty good. But yeah, I think those are the pros and cons for that one. So thanks for sharing, Jordan. Let's move over to trends again, and I'm going to scroll and see if we can find another great prop, and then back over to you guys for another one, and then we'll start to maybe move into some of the parlays. And guys, I love to see all of these props that you guys are dropping here down below in the live chat for us. I really appreciate that, and we're going to get through many of these. Oh my goodness, Bo Daniel Feakin says Luka's better than Curry. That is absolute nonsense. Steph Curry is one of the greatest of all times, top 10 all time. But I digress. We're going to keep scrolling and looking for more props with good value here, guys. And again, I appreciate all these ones in the chat. This is one I was looking at for tonight, guys, when I was researching earlier in the day. The Vucevic one, that was literally, guys, off rip while we started streaming, scrolling for 2 minutes. We found that prop with great value, and that just shows how easy it is using these tools, particularly the trends tool, to find props, and then we click into stats, and that's how easy Hall of Fame Bets makes the process. But this one I had seen earlier today when I was doing research, just disclaimer there. So we're going to see, I'm going to bump this line down. ESPN Bet, I'd be curious to see what they're offering it for now. At over 19.5, it's minus 140. So this is hit in 71% of games this season, and that's implied odds of minus 245 to minus 140. So really good positive edge there. Dirty says Luka on fire. He has been. I have to give credit. Luka's been probably the better. He has been better than Steph this season. I hate to say it. But anyways, back to this. Minus 245 to minus 140, so a strong positive edge there. Obviously, Bane is just returning from injury, so like last 10 and that sort of data isn't great. Though we see he's playing full minutes. He played 32 minutes the other night, so that's good to know for us. So let's move into head-to-head. He did go under against Sacramento this season, so that's for concern. Let's see over the course of the last two. So he's gone over in 2 of 3 over the past 2 seasons. But I do acknowledge, going under against Sacramento, not ideal. I want to take a look at, let's take a look here against Sacramento. Do allow a lot of points to shooting guards and overall as well, so that's pretty favorable. Let's take a look at defensive rank. So if we go to below average defenses, he's really lit it up. 79% of games against below average defenses. That's that's going to be minus 375 there, again, compared to those minus 140. Again, if you're looking for a prop with quite a bit of value, close to, even odds, this is it right here. I think this is phenomenal. So I think this prop is really good. And again, I like Bane over 19.5 points, especially considering all these injuries that they have right now. They're going to have to rely. He's going to be the cornerstone of this team along with Jaren Jackson Jr. So that's another one, guys. Desmond Bane over 19.5 points. So, guys, if you're enjoying the stream so far, drop a like, let us know. And also, like I said before, check it out down below in the description. Hall of Fame bets. Check it out. 25% off your first month using the promo code. All right, let's take a look at a couple more props. I'm going to take a look at this one from Eche. Kuminga over 17.5 points. This could be a really interesting one. So we're going to take a look here. Jonathan Kuminga. And this is using the Deep Stats tool on Hall of Fame bets, guys. This is where when we pull up the graph, that's where we're getting all that information. Whereas when we're kind of scrolling through the trends, that's much more of a starting point, a place to identify props. I don't ever just go into trends. I don't ever just go into trends and just ultimately just immediately put a prop in. I always move into the stat page. So we're going Kuminga 17.5. So let's pull that up. 17 point. And Kuminga's been on fire recently for the Warriors, guys. I mean, he's taken his game to a whole new level this season. So lots of respect there. Again, we see a lot of red to start on this left-hand side of the graph, and that just shows his change in role later in the second half of the season. So this is where I'm going to apply that last 20 filter. This is going to come in clutch here because now we're getting a much better idea of his performances. And I'm also going to apply, because Steph missed a couple games, I'm going to go last 20 with Steph in games where Steph has also played. So in those, we see that's hit in 65% of games when Steph has played in the last 20, minus 185 to minus 108. I really like that. That's a great edge. So Eche, good start here. Now let's take a look and see, have they played the Knicks? Yes, recently they played the Knicks. He went for 25. I'd be curious over the course of the season. They've only played the Knicks once, and he went for 25. So I like that. I really like that. So, again, Eche off to a great start here. A big fan of the research that you're doing so far. And, guys, just so you know, Eche is one of our Hall of Fame bet subscribers. So a great example of someone doing some good research here. We're going to go to defensive rank. Let's see if the last 20 will give us a large enough sample size. Again, because Kuminga's role has changed so much. So he's gone over in 2 of 3. Of course, one of these probably includes the Knicks. It does. He's gone over in 2 of 3. Against the Celtics, when he went under, he only played 20 minutes, and that's because that was an absolute blowout. That was an embarrassing game for us Warriors fans, but we put that behind us and we move forward. So, yeah, he did really well against Denver's too, so I think that looks pretty good. I'd be curious to see over the course of the season, like I said, his role changed a lot. Like, if we look back at some of these earlier games, most of these games he played under 25 points. In that game where he had under 25 minutes. In the game where he had 34 minutes and went under, he had 17 points. So that's, again, a huge factor. And, another great way, guys, to look at, to see, in games where he's played more, how this prop looks, we can apply the minutes filter. So I'd say more recently, let's see in Kuminga's last 20 what his average minutes are. and then we can start to apply that over the course of the season. So he's averaging around 30 minutes in these last 20 games. So I'm going to apply, let's say 28 plus minutes, and see how that impacts Kuminga's performance. That's 28. Again, when Kuminga has played more than 28 minutes, guys, hitting 71% of games, minus 245 to minus 108. Etche, this research looks phenomenal. I really like this, guys. So if anyone's interested, again, in tailing, you have to weigh your own pros and cons. But we're looking Jonathan Kuminga over 17.5 points. All this research being done Hall of Fame bets, and also big up Etche for coming correct with some phenomenal research for the stream. I hope some people hopefully win off something like this tonight. So I see my guy Jersey saying Bam under 14 rebounds. Let's take a look. He said, trying to tell y'all, man. He said, I'm trying to tell y'all. He's trying to come with some heat for us. So we're going to take a look here at this one. All right, Bam. We're going to go Bam Adebayo. And we're going to go under 14 rebounds. And thank you for the heads up with Butler being out. That's good to know. And again, guys, this is where it really is important to keep these things in mind, right? Like, players being out is going to affect performance. So that's, with Bam, again, maybe not as much with rebounding, right? Points would definitely affect more, but this is where we're going to check and actually use the tools to see how much of an impact these key injuries have on Bam's performances. So we're going to go rebounds, and we are going to go under 13.5, and let's see what this is being offered at. Minus 265. So I don't know if I would love this as an individual prop, right? Because it's kind of outside that minus 200 range. But as in terms of parlay material, this could be a great starter prop for a 2 or 3 leg parlay. So that's kind of what we're going to view this as, and this is hit in 81% of games this season, minus 425, and really done well in the last 20. So off the bat, I would say, Jersey, well done. I'm liking this. Now we're going to move over to games against Philly. We definitely have to keep this in mind, right? He's had 2 really high rebounding games against Philly, right? Obviously, he split them, right? We have one where he's gone over and one where he's gone under, but when it's a really high line and he's been close on both, that does make me a little concerned. I'm going to go into historical. Okay, historical tells us a little better, but we also have to remember Joel Embiid's not playing, and that's going to have a major impact on this. So that's something to keep in mind. Let's go away games. All right, 80% of away games, minus 400 looks all right. Let's go rebounding rank. Philly do not appear to allow lots of rebounds to opposing centers, which is good. Overall, quite a few. That's where, again, this is where we're really going to decipher it, is using the rebounding rank here. So we're going to go the rebounding rank, and we're going to go, let's go bottom quartile for Philly. Let me just move the slide. I'm going to first go below average, and then we'll go bottom quartile. So against below average, interesting. So against below average rebounding teams, looks like Bam actually maybe takes his foot off the gas a little bit, or for whatever reason, kind of going under more there. And now let's go bottom quartile. Still looking pretty good. So I think overall it looks good. Now the big question is these key injuries that we want to look at. So we're going to go to the roster page, and we are going to see who's injured. And Kevin Love, not huge minutes. I don't think Richardson, Hero, Jovic will affect it too much. The big one here is Jimmy Buckets, right? I think that's kind of the big one. Let's just take a look at everyone's minutes just to see, though. Butler, yeah, I feel pretty good just with checking with Butler here. Okay, so we are going to see in games without Jimmy Butler, where is our man Bam Adebayo? His rebounds go up by 8%. So not a major change in terms of rebounding. And now we're going to go over to his player tab and see in games without Butler. Still gone under in 79% of games without Butler. So looks pretty good. So I think it looks pretty good. Jersey, again, the one thing that makes me a little concerned is the head-to-head, particularly the fact that in the game where he did go under, it was so close to that 14 line. But I think overall, this research is well done, well thought out, and I think this could be really good. And he says, right, I got it I got it part of a parlay man telling you it's a lock. Yeah, I think it's good research. Again, it's all about weighing pros and cons. For me, this is probably the only con I really see. So I think it's good research, and for anyone else interested in tailing, you have to decide if this is a big enough factor for you to fade, or if you don't think it's important enough, and then you take it. So again, that's what it's all about, weighing, and I think the rest of it checks the boxes. So really well done with the research there. All right, I am going to go back and look for one more prop on the trends tool myself. And then I want to go take a look at some of your guys' parlays, and also show you guys a parlay I researched earlier today too. So start to sprinkle some of those parlays into the chat, guys, and check them out. And again, I'll say it again. If you guys are not subscribed to Hall of Fame Bets, these are the tools we're using, all from Hall of Fame Bets: the trends, the deep stats, the leaderboards, and the parlay optimizer. You can sign up now in the description, and we have a promo code to get 25% off that first month. So again, we have lots of subscribers in the chat, and I think they've all spoken pretty highly of the platform. So I don't even think I need to toot our own horn so much, because these tools speak for themselves, and the subscribers are speaking for the tools as well too. All right, let's do a little more scrolling here and see anything else we come across that we may like. What do we think about this one, guys? Tyrese Halliburton over 27.5 points plus assists. Couple things I know right off the bat. Cleveland defensively, quite a good defense, but it looks like he's done pretty good in the head-to-head. Only 6 of the last 10, must be 4 of the last 5, though, and 71% of games this season. That's an interesting one. Trey Jones under 11.5 points is interesting to me. Maybe looks like the head-to-head hasn't been as good, though that could be from last season. So let's take a look at a couple of these ones that we're finding here on our trends, and we're going to move into the deep stats feature. And guys, so great to have so many of you, and I appreciate everyone sharing these props and parlays down below in the live chat. And if you're enjoying, why not drop a like as well too? Always great to get good feedback on the stream. So we're going to go here, and we are going to go to what was it again? Let me double check what it was. So under 11.5 points. So we're going to go points. And guys, also, so you know, if you do subscribe to the Hall of Fame Bets app or website, you get access to our Discord server, where we don't give away picks there, but it's a collaborative research space, and we actually do more. We do community parlays, and we do another live stream in there as well each week. So actually, just so you know, we got a community parlay coming for tomorrow, which is going to be really exciting, and we've been doing pretty well on those. So we see. That's rebounds. We need points for our guy here, Trey Jones. He's definitely getting under 11.5 rebounds. So we're going to go under 11.5 points. Okay. We went under. So this is hit in... first of all, Dallas don't allow many points to opposing point guards. Overall, a weaker defense, it looks like. So this is hitting 73% of games this season, minus 270 to that minus 140. Looks pretty fabulous to me. We go last 10, hit an 8 of the last 10. I like that. The big question here is the head-to-head against Dallas. Hitting 2 or 3 this season, I like that. 2 or 3 is usually three is a pretty good sample size. 2 out of 3 I feel pretty good about. And I think the big thing here, guys, is in the games he's gone under, quite significantly under. So that's important to note. That's always really, really important to note. Be curious to see. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Let's see defensive rank. So we're gonna go first to below average. Still very good at 81% there. Let's go bottom quartile just to see. 69%, so that's maybe a little bit more accurate as well in terms of playing weaker defense. Maybe he gets some more points. But again, a lot of these games, he's going under by quite a significant margin, which I like. Obviously 11, 11, 11 there, but the rest of these 2, 6, 6, 3. Like, I think overall, this Trey Jones under 11.5 points, I'm liking it for tonight, guys. It looks pretty good. Last thing to check would be any major injuries. No injuries for the Spurs. So, yeah, I think Trey Jones under 11.5 points being offered at minus 140 on ESPN Bet is looking pretty good here. So, wow, I think we've we found some really great props for tonight. Credit to you guys. Credit to the Hall of Fame Bets Trends tool and the Deep Stats tool for helping us find such good stuff. And hopefully, you know, if any of you do tail these or tail any of the ones that were shared by some of the people in the chat, fingers crossed it goes all well tonight. But I think we found some really great stuff. So now we are going to move into some parlays, guys. And again, I think the Trends tool is really good for researching parlays as well, too. Because I'll typically, you know, for example, if I were to do one around the Trey Jones prop, what I would do is I would click, I would find it. Obviously, I'd run through go through the list we just did. And then I'd be like, okay, that checks the boxes for me, add it to the PO. And then I would go and filter through another game on here. Like the same game, I'd go up top and go to the... Actually, I want to look at this Halliburton one. We can come back to it, but I go up top, and then I would select the game filter and select the same game. So the last one I actually want to look at really quickly here. Sorry, guys. This is just very curious to see this. Where did it go? Did I scroll past it? No. Oh, it's down this way. Is this Tyrese Halliburton one? I'd be curious to see. Ooh, there's another one that just popped up on screen that I had researched as well, which was Isaiah Stewart over 9.5 points. I think it had hit in the head-to-head, and it just have done pretty well this season. But I'll check that. We're going to move to parlays after this one, but I want to look at this Tyrese Halliburton one. Yeah, it's this Stewart one. Over 9.5 points. A tough matchup against the Celtics, but he's done pretty well against them. And then also done well in the last 10 and checked a lot of the boxes there. But let's go back to Tyrese Halliburton. Over 27.5 points plus assists. And this one really interests me because I think, you know, there's a stronger defense there for the let's go, points plus assists. Stronger defense here for Cleveland, but I think they have some good head-to-head data, both being teams in the Eastern Conference. Hopefully they've played each other so we can get a good read on that. And then I see SPNJ says, after you check his, can you check mine if you have time? Absolutely. We can definitely do that. And like I said, guys, sorry, I know you guys sent those just a minute ago. If you can resurface any parlays that you guys want us to take a look at, we are going to do that next. So really appreciate that. So we're going to see Tyrese Halliburton. This isn't in 71% of games this season. However, ooh, this is something to be wary of. Last 20 not looking so good. While the last 10, solid. Well, it's still not great, to be honest. And yeah, look at the tougher matchup. I'd be curious to see the head-to-head. He's gone over in both against Cleveland, though these were earlier in the season. So just because of his recent performances, I would kind of typically tend to fade this one. I think he started the year really strong, but maybe a little more dodgy now. So yeah, let's move into some parlays. I know those games. I believe the games start at 7 p.m. tonight. Someone can confirm that in the live chat. I want to make sure we get all those parlays in before those games get started, so you guys, you know, have some good stuff to go with for tonight. So let's move over to the Parlay Optimizer. And one that I had researched for tonight that I really like, guys, that I want to share with you guys, and then we're going to plug some of yours in too, is this one for the Kings. And I found this one using the Trends tool, and then I moved these props into the Parlay Optimizer to make sure they're looking still pretty good. So I'm going to go Murray, and we are going to go under, this is blocks. I know some people don't love to bet like some of the defensive stats, but I think this one looks pretty good. Murray under 1.5 blocks, and then we're going to add De'Aaron Fox. And this one isn't a crazy, like it's not crazy in terms of, it's being offered at minus 120 by the sportsbook guys, so it's not like it's a, oh my god, big, huge lotto play, but I think in terms of a nice, safe two-leg play, I like this one a lot. That's what I'm kind of looking at here, and I'm sure some of you guys have some bigger plays for us to take a look at. So we see this probably is hitting 64% of games this season, but a big insight here, guys, is the home games. Hitting 73% of home games, minus 270, compared to the implied odds of minus 120. So that looks really good. I really like that. The next big takeaway here, the head-to-head. Hitting both head-to-head games comfortably, too. Murray, 0 blocks in the head-to-head games. And then, Fox has gone over 23, 24 points. That's quite significantly over that 19.5 that we're looking at. Let's see the last 10. Hit in 5 of the last 7, 3 of the last 4. This play looks pretty good for me, guys. If anyone's interested in tailing, it's Keegan Murray under 1.5 blocks. Excuse me, De'Aaron Fox over 19.5 points. I'm just going to have a quick sip of water. I've been running my mouth. But yeah, drop those parlays down below in the live chat. We're going to take a look, see who's cooking. And like I said before, all this research, the Parlay Optimizer, guys, this is a game-changing tool. If you're into parlay betting, this is a game changer. Nothing else like it. Check it out on our website or through the mobile app. Link in the description, and get a promo code for 25% off your first month. All right, let's move into some of your guys' stuff now. So we are going to go here. I see from Fishy, we see Ayton. Oh, okay, let's plug this one in here. I've seen a lot around DeAndre Ayton today, and I'm kind of curious as to why. I haven't seen much about him. I just hadn't researched that game, so I'm curious to see what our insights are here. So we're going to go to the Trailblazers, and we're going to go Ayton over 9. And guys, also when you drop the parlays, could you please also drop the odds for the parlay? Just gives us a good kind of indication, right? We're going to compare those implied odds to the offered odds. So if you could do that, that would be greatly appreciated. Now we're going to go over to the Knicks, and we are going to go Josh Hart over 10.5 rebounds. And yeah, Fishy, the big thing here is going to be, I want to know what those implied odds or the offered odds from the sportsbook are. That's going to be really determine kind of how we weigh this play. And guys, also make sure if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel to do that as well too, because we do these weekly and wouldn't want you guys to miss a future one if you're enjoying. So we're going to go DeJounte Murray over 24.5 points. And let's see. This is I think if Trae Young's still out, I really like this. If Trae Young is back, that would concern me. So that's something we're going to have to look into here. And then finally, we're going to go Domantas Sabonis. And again, I'd be curious to see those odds. Let me see if he dropped them. Fishy, could you please drop the odds for this play? That's going to be kind of a big sticking point for us. And we are going to go Sabonis rebounds 14.5. Ooh, not 1.5. We know he's going over 1.5 rebounds. All right, at least assume so. So we are going to see that this parlay has hit in, drum roll please. Let's see. Wow. The probability of this parlay hitting is 0.8%. So a really low probability here. That's offered implied odds of plus 12,000. I mean, unless this is in like that crazy range of plus, 120 or plus a million or, something crazy, we're probably not getting great value on this one. Maybe the recent performances are slightly better. Like these guys have all kind of done better recently. The other thing we want to account for maybe is like some of the injuries. So let's go with Portland. I don't think there's many major injuries right now, but I have to double check that. If anyone else knows in the chat, let me know. But let's see, Hart. This is where we're going to go Hart without Randall. This is going to make a huge difference. We're going to go, I believe Trae Young is still out, but I have to double check to be honest. We're going to go without Trae Young. Sabonis doesn't really have many injuries. So, again, even with those factors, it's still really low. So, yeah. SPNJ says, let's be real, that's not hitting. Yeah, I would tend to kind of avoid that. Again, maybe the offered odds were something insane, but, again, the probability, guys, is really low. It's not to say that it can't happen, that it's impossible. It absolutely could happen. Anything is possible, but, again, the data would tell us probably not the best bet to be tailing. All right, so let's move on to some other ones. I'm gonna guys, a great way to get yours if you're interested in getting yours selected. Send it with the odds, and I'll definitely take a look. So yeah, let's see Jersey. I want to see what you've cooked up here, my friend. So we have Bam under. So this is probably building off that play he was looking at earlier. So So we're going to go Bam. And we're going to go his rebounds under 13.5. And then we're going to add in is that Buddy Hield? I assume that's Buddy Hield, right? One thing that we're going to have to take into account here with the parlay optimizer is Hield was traded recently, so the sample size for him is going to be on the smaller side. So we're going to go Buddy Hield, 2 rebounds. And it makes sense for it to be on the smaller side, guys, just because, right, it makes a lot of sense for it to be on the smaller sides because players' roles change based on the team they're on. So is it Buddy Hield 12-plus points also? I just want to clarify, double check here. So it's Buddy Hield. So it's Bam under 14 rebounds, Buddy Hield 2 rebounds, Buddy Hield 12 points. Is that correct? Okay, good. And then Terry. Let's go add in. And again, another player who's been traded more recently, so the sample size is going to be on the smaller side. And then we're going to go Terry 12 points. Okay. And then we are going to go, finally, Bam, 15 points. Okay. Bam Adebayo, 15 plus points. We're going to close out, and we're going to calculate. All right, guys, let's take a look here and see what we are working with. Okay, so this is hit. The probability of this hitting is 23%, plus 340, compared to the offered odds of plus 405. That's a solid start. I think one thing to say here is 3 players have been recently traded. So some of this information could maybe be a little misleading just because the sample size is slightly smaller, but I still think looking pretty good here. The one that concerns me maybe is Hield, but let's take a look. Last 10. He's hitting 5 of the last 10. What is it with the Hield prop that you like? And maybe that's where I have to check the roster pages, but Jersey, what was it that you liked about the Hield prop in particular? Let me know down below in the live chat. Let's see head-to-head. Head-to-head, this looks pretty good. Rozier hasn't played in the head-to-head, and then Adebayo 1 for 2, so that's something to keep in mind. Let's see home and away. That's closer to what the offered odds now, so that kind of makes sense. I took into account his last 20. That makes sense. Okay. Even though on his last 20, he's still 11 out of 17 for his last 20 Hield, so that's still maybe a little cause for concern. And then let's go defensive rank. Ooh, hasn't hit against teams with a similar defensive rank, but that just could be the sample size is really small again. Yeah, that probably makes sense because in terms of the actual numbers, it looks pretty good. But again, I think it's a smaller sample size. So I would say I think this research looks solid. The head-to-head looks decent. The last 10, I wouldn't say they're like particularly on a strong trend, but I wouldn't say it's weak either. And then I'd say it's kind of like on par, maybe slightly better than what the book's offering. So I think the research here is solid. And yeah, I think it looks decent. I wouldn't say it's like crazy, but I think it's solid. You have to take into account they're hungry. They need to still clinch a seed. Yeah. And these are factors, guys, where we say when you combine intuition with data, right? When you combine those two, I think that kind of is when the tools are even at their best. So that's a great point, Jersey. So thank you for sharing this one. And let's take a look at a couple others. This is the biggest part of my research is that they need this win. Yes, I think that's fair. I think it's good again to add that intuition. And again, I think data wise from the tools, it looks pretty solid. But I would also say don't also overweigh intuition. It's such a balance. You just got to find that sweet spot. And I think you're looking pretty close to that. So all right, moving on to one. Let's go Joseph. Joseph has okay. We are gonna go. What team is Nesmith on again? Naismith? I forget how to pronounce his name. What team's Aaron on? We're going to go Simmons. Oh, FR Team Hex. I got you next, all right, bro? I got you after this one. We're going to do, Joseph will do you, and then we'll probably start to wrap up for the night. So, yes, you will be the final one for tonight. And again, appreciate everyone tuning in. We are researching right now using the Hall of Fame Bets Parlay Optimizer. If you are interested in checking it out for yourself, link down below in the description, and to get 25% off your first month. So we are going to go... I make money on straight bets. Parlays are for fun, for real. That's a great point, Jersey, and I think a great strategy is to build your bankroll using props, like through the trends tool that we've mentioned, and then you can, kind of from that bankroll and in money that you've made, then put that into parlays, and that's a really great strategy in my opinion. So well done there. All right, I'm gonna pull this up from Joseph. We're gonna go over 12.5 points. I like this over for him just because of some of the injuries I think that are going on right now. So we're going to go next. We're going to add Simmons. He's on the Blazers. Simmons. And what do we have for Simmons? It is under 22.5 points. All right. Huh. Okay. Under 22.5 points. Then we are going to add, who's next? Markkanen, under 20.5 add game. We're going to go to the Jazz, Markkanen, and we're going to go 20.5, and we're going to take the under. Okay. So we have quite a few here. And then we're going to take a look and see what this is saying. This is being offered at plus 556. Joseph, this is using our Parlay Optimizer. Not sure if you're a subscriber or not. So yeah, off first glance, I would say this play concerns me a little bit, right? This is as an implied, so the likelihood of this hitting based off the historical data, Joseph, is 7%, quite low. So, and you can calculate that percentage into an odds form. So based on the data, this is saying that this should have odds of plus 1,300, but we're getting it for plus 500. So we're losing a lot of value here. And again, this is not to say that these plays cannot hit, right? I don't want someone's play to hit and then they come back and be like, you said it wasn't going to hit. Like, it could hit. It's just saying the data's saying it's very unlikely and we're losing value potentially here. And hasn't performed particularly well as of recently with Simmons. So I'm curious to see maybe if there's some factors. Are there injury factors maybe I'm missing here? But yeah, Simmons has been on fire recently. So the last 10 doesn't look good over the course of the season. Doesn't look good. Maybe there's head-to-head that would inspire us. So these two have done well in the head-to-head. Markkanen under in the head-to-head doesn't look great. Jersey's out. Take it easy, bro. Appreciate you tuning in. Let's see what Joseph says. Makes sense. Kind of questionable on the last two for sure. Yeah. And this again is the power of the Parlay Optimizer here. Joseph is being able to see, like, something may feel right or look right just kind of off first rip, but you plug it in and the numbers are right. There's no bias, right? In terms of you're going to get the cold hard facts, and it shows that this is more likely to not hit than hit, and we're losing value here. So that's my take on it, Joseph. Appreciate you sharing the play. And yes, we'll add in SPNJ, and then we are going to go FR Team Hex to end, and that is it. We'll wrap it up there. I want to thank everyone for tuning in though, and sharing these plays and props thus far. And like I said, check out Hall of Fame Bets, link in the description. Subscribe to the app. So, all right, we're gonna see SPNJ. We're gonna go Brown. And what were the odds? Odds are minus 106. Okay, and I like this. I love when you guys are sharing kind of different ranges of stuff, right? Like, I personally like to bet parlays in the range of, the plus 100 to 200, maybe to 300 range. The occasional lotto bomb is fun too, but that's primarily where I'm doing most of my parlay betting. Other people are different, so I like to see all these different ones. So we have Brown over 20.5 points. Then we're going to add game. We're going to go to the Lakers. We're going to go to Reeves. One thing I would say, how many legs is it? When it's 3 legs, I do like to typically be in the plus range SPNJ. Again, this is a preference thing, so this is not saying this is bad. This is a bad play or anything like that. That's just a preference thing. But I've definitely done parlays where it's still been kind of right around even. So, and our last leg here is the Buddy Hield one we talked about. So we're gonna go Hield, and it's rebounds, and we're going. Oh, excuse me, threes. My bad. We're going to go threes. We're going to go 2+, and we're going to see what this is showing us. Again, so this play, guys, Brown over 21.5 points, Reeves 12.5 points, and then Hield 2+ threes. So this is hit in 38% of games this season, plus 165. So a 12% negative edge from what the sportsbook was showing us. From what the sportsbook's showing us. So I don't love this starting point. I don't think it's terrible, but I wouldn't say it's great either, if I'm being honest. SPNJ. If we go to home and away, that makes it a little better when we're considering home and away, but still plus 130. So again, like a negative edge here of probably like 6 or 7%. We go to the head-to-head. It looks pretty good head-to-head. The one that hasn't played the head-to-head is Brown. The only thing that concerns me for this one up top is Detroit are a weaker team, so that can mean Brown goes off, but there's also blowout potential, so it's something to keep in mind. But these look good. Again, one game is still a pretty small sample size. Let's go last 10. Looking really good on the last 10. So this is, again, where, guys, we have to weigh pros and cons. Some of the cons, I'd be curious to see last 20. So, yeah, when we look at larger sample sizes, last 20 over the course of the season, negative edge on this parlay. And, like, I wouldn't say it's huge, but I wouldn't say it's small either. Like a significant negative edge. Head-to-head looks decent, though we don't have any head-to-head data for Brown, which could be potential blowout situation. Last 10 looks pretty good, minus 170 there. The next thing would be the defensive rank. So let's see against similar ranked defenses. I'm going to go in and see if we can manually toggle some of these, just because, okay, Detroit are definitely a bottom quartile team. Let's see if Atlanta are definitely bottom quartile, and then finally top quartile. Okay, so this looks pretty good. So based on similar ranked defensive teams, this is only hitting 30% plus 235. So I think a mix of pros and cons here. The head-to-head looks decent. The recent performances look decent over the course of the season against similar ranked defenses. Those are some of the cons. So again, this is where you guys have to make your choice. But thank you for sharing. And SPNJ says, damn, they love getting us. I assume he refers to the negative edge. And yes, sportsbooks obviously are going to have an advantage. That's why it's betting. But these are tools that we can find to make sure that we're getting at least fair, if not beyond better. We want to look for that positive edge, but at least kind of even typically. Yeah, the blowout, but I've been keeping tabs on Detroit for live bets for their spread. Got you, SPNJ. And he says, catch while they trail, and they'll usually close it in the fourth. Got you. So thank you for sharing that. And guys, we are going to go into our final parlay for tonight. This one is being shared by our friend FR Team Hex, and I promised him we would do this one. So let's go here. We're going to add, so we see Bam. Oops. Let me do Bam Adebayo. We're going to over 19.5 PRA. What is it? Yeah, he said, wait, Bam over, yeah. Oh, PA, sorry, excuse me. 19.5. Want the over there. We're going to add in Hield. See a lot of people looking at this Miami Philly game, and it should be a pretty fun one, to be fair. We're going to go Hield, PRA, 15.5. All right. And then we're going to go Duncan Robinson, 12 plus points. And with Hero out, potentially, I really like the Robinson prop. I think he's been on fire with Hero being out. His roles increase. So I think this looks pretty good. All right, let's see. So this is hit in. Okay. We are cooking here. Smaller sample size for Hield, so we have to keep, we must, I'm going to stress it. Keep that in mind. But plus 130, right? Plus 130 compared to the offered odds of, let's see, plus 287. I'm liking this. Last 10, looking, the Adebayo one in the last 10 hasn't been as good, and that's because, of course, we want to see with the Miami props. We want to see without Jimmy Butler, right? Without Butler, without Hero, like how these get impacted. And now let's see what we're looking at. Okay, still looking decent. Still looking decent without Butler. Okay. So it still looks good without Butler, without Hero. So that shouldn't be too concerning. Maybe Bam's just hit a bit of a cold streak. Let's see. When he's gone under, it's been pretty close. When he went under, to be fair, very close. 19, 19, 18. So that looks pretty good. Let's see the head-to-head. Hitting both. Oh, man. I think we found a winner for this play. I really like this play, FR Team X. A couple things I like about it. I like the edge, the strong positive edge. I think the last 10 isn't ideal, but it's, I think that's probably on the con side, but the head-to-head looks really solid. The last thing would be against similar ranked defenses. Again, Philly, let's take a look here. Miami, our top defensive team, and we're going to go to Philly, who are, I would say, an average defensive team. So Philly are average. Oh, okay. So we can see Miami's props done pretty well against average defenses, whereas Philly have killed, the Philly props have killed it against strong defenses. So, yeah, FR Team X, I think this is a really good, this is a really well-researched play, and I have to give you major props. The edge is really good. Defensive quartile rank is good, and then also the head-to-head data. So, guys, and if anyone's interested in tailing this parlay for tonight, some really good value here at plus 287. Let me just confirm that here. Yeah, plus 287. I'm actually going to take a screenshot of this too, just for my own reference here. But yeah, really well done there and nice research. So anyways, guys, we are going to wrap it up there. I know these games start soon. I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. Had a really great time researching with you all. As I said earlier, if you are kind of enjoying the content and also are really enjoying the research process, check out Hall of Fame Bets. This is the platform we're using to do all our research on the live stream. The link is down below in the description, and you can use our promo code HOFF5 or 5 off. It's in the description to get 25% off your first month. And again, the Hall of Fame Bets app and our tools, the Parlay Optimizer, Trends, Deep Stats, the leaderboards are game changing. They're really going to help you make more efficient and better research so you guys can make smarter betting decisions. So anyways, best of luck to everyone with their plays for tonight. Hopefully we hit a couple that we've hit on here on the live stream, and then also some of the ones you guys have shared too. And yeah, we will be back with a Discord live stream for our Discord subscribers, or for our subscribers that are in the Discord community on Wednesday, and a community parlay coming in Discord tomorrow as well too. The perks of being a subscriber to Hall of Fame Bets. So anyways, guys, thank you so much. Have a great night. Best of luck, and I will see you guys on the YouTube live stream next week. Peace.